Before. After. You're at home with a geek. I'm Mark, aka the little black dude. And I want a Switch. As you all know, the Nintendo Switch has been announced. We had heard about it a little while ago, as it was being referred to as the NX. Before that, of course, Nintendo has used code names for its systems, like for example the Wii was the Revolution, and then the N64 was Project Reality, and of course the GameCube was Project Dolphin. So it's nothing unusual that they changed the name. However, one of the things that I am most amused by are the games that they were putting out on the Switch. First of all, this is the first time that Nintendo has had some real third-party support, or at least that's what we believe to be the case at this point. There's been a lot of speculation on whether or not third-party developers would even follow up with them. And to be honest, it looks like they're going to have some decent support. So it means good games for everybody. Which also means that there's going to be a lot more fun to be had by Nintendo players. Personally, I'm looking forward to some of the games that were showcased, like Super Mario Odyssey, ARMS, Ultra Street Fighter 2! But of course, you know that there are always going to be some unusual things on the side there. For example, they had a number of different games that were announced but not going to be released until later on. In either case, it does make sense that Nintendo is trying to spread things out as best they can. As long as there's good launch titles, it's always going to be a good deal. Now, alongside the presentation, a number of other videos were released that were showcasing different games that were coming out, as well as a feature. And this is what I'm going to talk most about in the next few moments because I found it hilarious the way they did this. One of the things that was pointed out by a number of people, most notably for me, Andre Meadows of Black Nerd Comedy, who I absolutely love because he's awesome, he pointed out that the original promotion for the Switch didn't really showcase too many children. A lot of the videos for the different games, for example, 1-2 Switch, we're using a lot of young adults, older teenagers, people in their late 20s, early 30s. And there was a lot going on with that. However, the Nintendo Switch does have parental controls. It actually has a parental control app that can be installed on your smart device, for example, on a cell phone or on a tablet, so that you can keep track of the things that are going on with your kid. Now, the reason I enjoyed this as much as I did was they presented it with Bowser and Bowser Jr. And it was adorable. Bowser Jr. is playing with a Switch and having a good time, apparently playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Having so much fun playing. And Bowser is being the doting father, creeping up on him, watching what he's doing, and pretending like he's not watching, and then creeping up on him again, and pretending like he's not watching. A little bit later, he sees Bowser Jr. really getting into it, and apparently he wants to talk to him. He's kind of like pausing, trying to get, a word in edgewise, goes completely, spitting fire into the air. The fact that they decided to use Bowser and Bowser Jr. means that Nintendo is thinking about the kind of players that they have. Because, quite frankly, the Switch is supposed to be another family system. Well, it's a system for everyone in the family, I should say. So there are going to be times when the kids are playing and having a good time, and, Dad's going to want it and get Skyrim on. Or Mom's going to want to get onto, say, Smash Brothers in, or she wants to play alongside the kids playing a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or maybe, there was a time when Breath of the Wild is, the big game for everybody in the family, and they were all taking turns trying to do different things and, want to have some more control over what's going on. And that's one of the things I really enjoyed about this particular commercial, well, video. But there are a couple of things that I was amused by and kind of confused by. I ended up with a couple of questions. not about how the parental controls work. That was actually explained pretty clearly. You can set a timer for how long you want the kids to play. There's a suspend mode for when they exceed that play time. It tells you what games they're spending the most time playing. Of course, you can always set your parental controls so that different rated games won't be able to be played or won't be played until a certain time, things like that. But a couple of things that I was amused by. Bowser is checking up on Bowser Jr. on his smart device, which appears to be an iPhone. How exactly is a creature like Bowser using an iPhone? When you see the image of him, he is holding the phone between his thumb and forefinger and using his claw to scroll back and forth through it. Last I checked, the last cell phones that responded to fingernail touches were before the smartphone boom came up in 2008. So how is he using that thing? I just found that amusing personally. Then of course, there was a section later on talking about restricting online play. And they used the Boo Buddies, the little Boos, to represent, difficulties and traumas and dangers on the internet while, Bowser Jr. is playing. Bowser jumps in and, he growls at raw like he usually would do. And it got me to thinking, you're the dictator of, a kingdom of Koopas. You are the villain in so many games. What exactly would you be trying to protect your child from if you are the ultimate evil? Just something I was wondering about. And to take it that much further, the Boos are, Bowser's minions. They are guys who are employed by the Koopa Troop. So what exactly would they be trying to do to their boss's son that, Bowser would have to jump in and do something? But again, these are questions that, a nerd like myself would have. Finally, there's a scene with Bowser and Bowser Jr. playing a game together, which is really the ultimate thing. And that's led up to by having Bowser talk to Bowser Jr. about different games that he's playing. And Jr.'s really excited. He's explaining, different things, and they show a thought bubble of him playing, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which, by the way, looks very cool. And then they're playing a game together. And I liked watching that. But it brings me back to the smartphone question. Because we have seen the size of the Joy-Con, it literally fits in the palm of the hand. Okay? It's designed so that it can be held fairly comfortably by a normal-sized human hand. We're talking about Bowser here. Bowser is gigantic. Bowser is freaking humongous. How does this guy use a Joy-Con? Then I thought about it and I said, well, he's a Nintendo employee. Who's to say he couldn't have gotten a specially made one? Because it looks like it fits pretty well in his hand. Though, amusingly enough, he's hitting the L and R buttons on the top of it with his claws. But again, looking forward to the Nintendo Switch. I can't wait to get my hands on it. And to be honest, I may just pre-order that sucker. And that, for me, is a big deal. I've never been a pre-order guy. I've only pre-ordered one game in my entire life, and that was Chrono Cross. Mostly because of how much I was looking forward to that game. Because I loved Chrono Trigger. And Chrono Cross was a good game as well. But I've never pre-ordered a system. This one just might get it. But it all depends. I see a lot of nice launch titles. I see a lot of support that can actually be there. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what's actually going to happen. So, until then, this is the little black dude. Stay geek and proud.